a thread by Brian Cates. Peg Gentle tweets, "This is a picture taken today when President Trump was boarding Marine One to travel to Ohio. I thought it was unusual that it appears that staff members were out watching him leave. I've never witnessed that before. Look at the photo. It's like the whole White House staff seeing him off." Brian responds, "You all know why Trump has now left the White House being seen off by the entire White House staff before he traveled to Ohio. Because he won't be back for a while to go to his resort in Bedminster, New Jersey, right? Everybody focuses on Spygate, 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 or Obamagate, 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 the new name that some have adopted for the scandal. Step back and remember the big picture. What were Obama and company so desperate to keep hidden if Trump won the election? I can think of three things off the top of my head that Obama, Hillary, and Biden, and a whole lot of the DC swamp would be frantic to keep from being exposed. First, Uranium One. The sale of 25% of United States uranium stocks, placing them under the direct control of Vladimir Putin and the Russians. Massive bribes paved the way to get that deal done to sell out our country. People who took that dirty money are desperate to keep it buried. 2. Untold billions of dollars in U.S. aid sent to corrupt foreign governments where U.S. officials not only knew much of this aid was going to be stolen, they kept the money flowing in exchange for a couple $1,000,000 kicked back to them in D.C. under the table. 3. The Wiener laptop, which is reported to have had stuff on it that caused veteran New York Police Department detectives to throw up. I'll add a fourth. The secret side deals and bribery that went on to get the Iran deal done, as well as all the Obama White House spying on members of Congress opposed to the deal and reporters investigating the illegal activity. Something is about to happen. Trump needs to be in a tightly controlled environment while whatever this is goes down. A lot of people have access to the White House that will not have access to him at Bedminster. The Optima FBI raids in Cleveland and Miami 3 days ago sent a clear signal to the president's enemies that, yes, indeed, he and Barr and Rudy are going to see this through. They are really going to do it. They have not been bluffing. Those FBI raids in Cleveland and Miami were directly linked to the Ukrainian corruption that caused at least $6 billion in U.S. taxpayer money sent to Ukraine to disappear. The two offices that were raided were involved in a massive amount of money laundering. It turns out that two of the Ukrainian oligarchs that ran Privat Bank, a large bank that got $1.8 billion in U.S. aid and lost it, laundered hundreds of millions of dollars through over a dozen shell companies and then used the laundered money to purchase real estate in Cleveland. For about a year and a half, ever since Rudy Giuliani revealed he was investigating the money trail of all of this stolen U.S. aid in Ukraine, the Democrats and the DNC media roundly mocked and lampooned him. Didn't stop anything. MSN.com, Ukrainian oligarch at the center of Cleveland raid, described as ruthless businessman. So, let's review what happened over the last 3 days. Trump's enemies got a huge tripwire tripped from two simultaneous FBI raids targeting the Privat Bank's stolen money laundering trail in Cleveland and Miami. Trump travels to Cleveland, poses in front of laundering machines. Trump then says this while standing in front of those laundering machines in Cleveland: "I have a lot of really rich enemies. You might not see me again for a while." Trump then doesn't go back to the White House. Turns out the staff came out to see him before he left for Cleveland because nobody's going to be seeing him for a while. And then he supposedly left Cleveland for his Bedminster resort in New Jersey. While Trump was appearing in Cleveland yesterday, this gets filed by the DOJ to seize assets Privat Bank purchased with its laundered money in Kentucky and Texas. Of course, All the real estate that the Privat Bank money was used to buy in Cleveland and Miami will also end up being seized. Now you know why Trump has been carefully setting up asset forfeiture for the past 3 years. From clevescene.com, how Ukrainian oligarchs secretly became the largest real estate owners in downtown Cleveland. Understand this clearly. Up until 3 days ago, a lot of the people involved in this massive, worldwide corruption were likely telling themselves Trump wouldn't dare try this. The repercussions would be far too great. He would know they would come after him in sheer desperation. And with those raids and that very first of many asset forfeiture filings by the DOJ yesterday, these people now know the truth down to the marrow of their bones. Trump is going to do it. He's really going to do it. He and Barr and Rudy are pulling the pin on this grenade. And now that the pin has been pulled, the Democrats, the GOP involved, the foreign leaders out there involved, and the media, they all know where that grenade is being tossed. It's in the air now, coming towards them. Do not underestimate the desperation and the sheer viciousness these people would descend into in their attempts to do whatever it takes to keep that grenade from landing in their midst and going off and completely exposing them. Trump certainly isn't. If you enjoy Brian Cates' work, you can help him continue to write and research full-time by making a donation at paypal.me/draw and strike. Thank you for listening.